All right, this is Bob Coppage, CEO Simplex-IT, Crowd Show Geek, and welcome to another episode of Biz Tech Twists, where we take a look at business, technology, or quite honestly, whatever else I feel like looking at, but look at it from a different perspective. And today, what I actually want to talk about is I want to tell a story. That's right, boys and girls. It's story time. And it's actually going to be unlike all the other stories I used to do when I was, dating that were not true. This one's actually going to be true. And it's going to talk about my company, Simplex-IT, and how we were part of a recent cyber hack. And spoiler alert, nothing bad really happened and all that. But anyway, and Haley, the videographer, editor, and all that, she hasn't heard the story. And she's actually, about 3 feet away from me, give or take? And she's just nodding her head off camera. And she wanted me to give the whole story up ahead of time so she wouldn't have to wait 5 or 10 minutes because she's one of those youngins looking for instant gratification. Anyway, so let's go to it. I'm going to try not to actually name the company that was involved here because I just don't think that's appropriate for the podcast. I will say, however, that on a couple social media posts, I did post the name of the company because I think it is important to call the company out. And I've also talked to the company directly. But here's what's happening, or what happened. About 3 weeks ago, and we're recording this towards the end of September, I got an email from this hiring site where we had a couple of active job posts. And I got an alert basically telling me that somebody had tried to change our email address for the account. And the implication was that it was not changed. So I looked at this, it was around 7 o'clock in the evening, looked at it and said, okay, they didn't change it, no problem. Next morning, one of the people who was trying to hire somebody contacted me and asked, Bob, are we trying to hire a janitor in Los Angeles? Now, I'm not going to tell all of you the expansion plans that we have for Simplex-IT, but I am going to say that our office in Northeast Ohio, we're not looking to hire a janitor for Los Angeles, I think, for at least 2 more years. So no, that was not us, but sure enough, we took a look, and it turned out that our account had been compromised, and that we actually had a janitor position that was posted that day for someone who wanted to work full-time in Los Angeles. And honestly, it was a good job. I mean, it paid well, not horrible. I mean, it wasn't astronomically great, but it full benefits. Person had their choice of working hours, first shift, second shift. It was just a fantastic job opportunity. It was great. Only problem was, it wasn't us. We don't hire janitors. We're not in Los Angeles, and probably we don't pay that well. But anyway, so then we tried to contact the company. Well, we couldn't because it turned out our email address was no longer the administrative email address. And when we tried to find ways to contact them, all of their contact methodologies were through the account, which we no longer had access to. So it literally took us about 30 minutes to try to figure out a way to connect with them, where we then contacted the company, and we were able to get them to admit within about half an hour of talking to them over the phone that they, in fact, had changed our contact information based on a phone call that they had received from somebody claiming to be me. Why someone would claim to be me, I have no idea why. I don't do it most of the time. But in any case, so a bad actor third party had actually claimed to be Bob Coppage. I would have loved to hear the pronunciation. And talked this company into changing the email address. So instead of blank@simplex-it.com, they make it blank.simplex@mail.com. And they did so without getting any particular information. Now, how did they trust me that I was actually the right person who was calling? Well, they verified that by asking my full name and asking the last 4 digits of our phone number. And that was all they needed to set it right. Well, at that point, I was very happy that they weren't very thorough on checking out the security requirements. But here was a company that was more than willing to change critical information without going through any kind of process. Well, so we were all concerned. But then we thought, well, how are they going to steal our lives? How are they going to, because the password was already, they never got our password because they just went in and changed it. And the password was a random set of about 20 characters anyway, and numbers and the like. And there really was no way to use any of our credit card information to buy anything or the like. So what could they do? Then it hit us. We took a look at the job posting. And again, this is the key. It was a really good job posting. It basically identified Simplex-IT as an IT organization. And it then had this great description of the janitorial job they were looking for someone in Los Angeles, and they wanted it to be flexible. They were paying a good hourly rate, but not a hourly rate that would cause you to not trust them. So it was not too good to be true, but it was really good, and plus all the benefits and all that kind of fun stuff. And then they went out and they discovered candidates. And they had within less than one day, within less than 24 hours, they already had over 100 people applying for the job. So here's what we think they were going to do. And we immediately stopped it. We paused the ad. And we also sent emails to all the people who had applied, telling them that, I'm sorry, this is a scam. Do not pay any attention to anything. Because here's what I'm reasonably sure the bad actors were going to do. The bad actors went out and invited people to apply for the job. So they were aggressively trying to get a quick turnaround for people to indicate their interest. It was a great job for someone with limited skills. Limited skills probably means, and sorry if I'm jumping to conclusions, but they would fall for something. They would jump at the chance. And I think they were going to then follow it up with an email to these people telling them that they had to pay a $10, $20, $30, whatever, application processing fee to go to this PayPal site or whatever site they set up to put in their credit card information, to put in their information. From that, they would essentially get credit card info, and especially if they put it in a bad site where they actually collected all the credit card information, then they could do a charge much more than $25. So when you think about this, all the bad guys had to do was to call up this company, convince them that they were us, and it didn't take a lot of convincing. Then take over the account, quickly put out an ad they had already created and already written that was this is a fantastic ad, aim it at people who do not have, pardon my French again, they're not necessarily sophisticated enough to know that they shouldn't fall for this, and ask them to just pay a $5 processing fee or the like, go to a fake site that's going to collect their information. So they actually figured out a way, compromising one account, to go get the information for up to 100. And they would keep on doing this until somebody like us was able to shut them down. So this gets back to the whole, and I've said this before, bad guys are entrepreneurs. And I doubt this is anything new. I doubt this is something that's never been done before or the like. But here's the thing. It took no technical brilliance. I mean, the fake site is easy. Coming up with a good ad, easy. Compromising our account, apparently very easy. So the sophistication wasn't that high. Easy to do. And if two people fall for it, you have access to two people's financial information, be able to use their credit cards, their bank account, whatever information they give. So hopefully we were able to shut this down soon enough so that nobody got fully compromised by it. So what happened with the hiring site? Well, it's funny. Because this happened on a Tuesday, we were able to figure it out, get it locked it back to where we had access to it the next day. The next day after that, they locked our account up because they wanted to review it to make sure it was safe. We assured them that we're now the people that are safe, but they didn't respond to that because they didn't trust us, because they weren't sure we were us now. But a couple days later, they unlocked the account. which was good because, like I said, we did have legitimate jobs out there. We were trying to work with the people who were applying for them. And then they locked our account up again because one of our other people changed their password. And to this date, and this is almost 2 weeks later, we still have not been able to get our account unlocked. And we've called people, and we've emailed them, and we've done whatever we can. So what does this mean? This means a couple of things. Number one is you could be the most secure company, but are the vendors you're working with secure? You could think that the people you're dealing with are secure and are honest, but are they really? And you have to keep an eye on even the stupid emails that don't seem to make sense, because sometimes they make sense to the bad guys. And if you're one of those people who applied for that janitor job in Los Angeles, I truly apologize. But I hope you get a job just as good, but one that's real. Anywho, that was pretty much it. That's my story. And if you want to know who the actual vendor was, like I said, I am putting that on direct social media, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search for Bob Coppage. And who knows, it might actually even be me. But one way you can determine that is if you like or comment. Because if you do that, then the internet fairies make sure that I hear about it and I get my wings. At least I think that's how it works. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see. Catch you next time.